Hey everyone, Anthony Cosenza with Casa Realty Group here. Happy to be joining you to give you the real estate market update for the week of, today's the actual 24th, but for the week of August 23rd, I guess. And happy to be with you, bringing you some information on the Southern California real estate market in general, nationally speaking, giving you some data, information, stuff that we have pulled on our own, stuff that we have been given from some trusted partners in the industry as well. And we're going to be happy to share that with you, as well as highlight something going on in the community and then get you out of here with an informative video as well. So I guess as good of a place to start as any is the information on the real estate market. So let's get to it. So before we get to some information courtesy of reports on housing and some from the lending side of things, we did a little homework in the MLS and wanted to provide some numbers to update you all as to what's going on in Orange County specifically, courtesy of the MLS and the information provided in that. So currently right now, just in working with some clients and whatnot, we have seen a little bit of an uptick of available properties and or coming soon properties in specific cities where the pickings have been a little bit slim. That's not to say that all of a sudden the floodgates have opened in terms of availability, but there have been a few more available properties than we had seen a little bit earlier in the year. And then there was some more on the coming soon front. Currently right now in Orange County, 231 listed in the MLS as coming soon. Now that, again, that's a little bit of a tricky number because there are a number of sellers and or agents that don't necessarily do the coming soon designation on an upcoming listing, but a good number of them do. But that is a good indicator in terms of a lot of available houses coming onto the market, and maybe even more so than that 231 number than what was noted in the MLS. Over 2,690 coming soon active as of the 24th of August. So 2,690 denoted as coming soon and or active in Orange County from the MLS. That, for those who are not strong in math like myself, that roughly equates to about 2,459 total active currently in Orange County, active listings in the MLS. 78 of those are active since Sunday, 8/22. So there are some listings in Orange County that have hit as of Sunday. There's a number of those. And then, of course, there are 1,727 active under contract, currently denoted in the MLS, and then active under contract and pending, meaning they are in escrow, a sale or an agreement has been reached on a contract, 3,488 total in Orange County. So things are moving, things are going, and they are moving at still at a quick pace. We'll talk about that more in just a second, but their homes are coming onto the market and they are selling. Sometimes escrows are a little trickier based on some different things that sellers and or buyers are asking, and some different things to navigate as always in a real estate transaction. But 3,488 active under contract and or pending currently in the MLS in Orange County. 910 closed since the beginning of last week, 8/16. 910 closed in the MLS noted. Again, things are moving, things are closing, and there are a lot of different ways for buyers to get into homes, even in this competitive market. It's a message we keep hammering home. It's a message we continue to bring to our clients, as evidenced by the things that are moving. People are getting into homes. You gotta find the right people to work with. You gotta be creative and keep your eyes open. Be patient and understand the things that are going on in the market. And working with the right people will help you achieve that. We've highlighted him quite a bit on this podcast or this YouTube channel. And I want to give a shout out to Kevin Buddy, a gentleman who has been in the mortgage industry for a very long time, a very trusted person in the industry, not only from our brokerage's perspective, but from many, many, many other real estate agents and brokers that he has worked with and clients that he has served. A very well-respected guy in the industry. He is the president of Monarch Coast Financial. He has also bestowed a number of really, really key data points that we're going to share with you. You can see his phone number there, 949-422-2075 over at Monarch Coast Financial. Kevin Buddy, the president there, and he is a very trusted guy to go to if you're a first-time home buyer, if you are buying once again, if you're doing investment stuff, whatever the case may be, refinance. He does it all, and will take great care of you. So we thank him for the information that he has given us to be able to share with you on this program. So as he noted, the California Association of Realtors reported that July 21, so the month of July of this year, home sales are up 21.7% from July 2020, and that was the second highest level in the past 6 years. So as I mentioned in just a second ago, with the home sales, now I was more talking a little bit of in the picture of the month of August of this year, but still, obviously things were a little bit different, and that's an understatement. Last year, things were a little bit of a standstill, particularly in the summer, where things were just kind of closed down, and there wasn't as much activity, definitely in the real estate market. But as things moved towards the end of the year and the beginning of 21, things really started to heat up. So, and then obviously into this summer as well, 21.7% is the rise, the increase from July 20 to July 21 in terms of home sales. 70% of the homes are going for more than the asking price or the original list price. So that is also something to definitely think about and keep in mind if you are a buyer. I know that sounds a bit daunting, but that doesn't mean you can't get a house and negotiate a fair deal. So definitely want to make sure that everybody kind of keeps that in mind. Again, 70% of the homes are going for more than the asking price. We're going to hear a little bit more and get some more snapshot information from Reports on Housing in just a minute as well. But there is an 8-day average to sell a home. So if you are a seller, if you're thinking of selling, whether it's your own home, an investment home, whatever the case may be, 8 days is the average to sell a home at this pace per Kevin Buddy and the data he has collected and given to us. CoreLogic reports that no foreclosure waves in sight. We get asked this a lot. Are we going to see what we saw in 2008 and beyond for those handful of years where a lot of folks are going into foreclosures, a lot of issues in terms of paying back paying your loan payments, that sort of thing. There just does not seem to be, whether, a lot of different folks, economists, data gatherers, et cetera, there's just not a lot of signals to show a big foreclosure market or really any kind of big wave in that regard coming down the pike here. So Kevin Buddy also relayed to us that about 110,000 Americans exited their forbearance plans from the COVID-19 pandemic the past 2 weeks. So that's a really good sign in terms of folks being able to get back to work, to pay back their loans, et cetera. So really, really good news there. And so that also points to the previous data point that we said that there just doesn't seem to be a foreclosure wave in sight at this point. And then, of course, the rates. Kevin Buddy relays that a 30-year mortgage average nationally is 2.86%. A 15-year fixed is 2.16 nationally, and he can help you out with all of your mortgage needs. I mentioned purchase, refinance, etc. Kevin at Monarch Coast Financial is the guy that you got to talk to, and you can see here experience. That's really what it's about. You can see since 1976 for those watching the video. 1976, Kevin Buddy has been in the mortgage lending business. Kevin Buddy Monarch Coast Financial. The mobile number 949-422-2075, KBuddy, BUDDE at Monarch Coast Financial. Give them an email, give them a call, let him know that we referred you, and we love working with him. Like I said, a very trusted guy in the real estate industry, and one that gives and knows a lot about what's going on in the market, particularly on the lending side. So thank you, Kevin, for that information for us to be able to relay to all of our clients there. Let's continue on with some more market analysis, market data. And this, as I mentioned, is courtesy of the folks over at Reports on Housing, and this is just kind of a little graphic that they have for us here. Let's you can see her hot sellers market. There's the pot on the stove, and here are a couple little data points here. Market time low this year is 21 days. So that means that, as evidenced by the 8 days on average to sell a home that we mentioned from Kevin Buddy there at Monarch Coast Financial, the low in terms of amount of days that it on average that it takes to sell a home, on the low average so far in 21 is 21 days. So still moving fast. And then the rise in EMT since has been up 7 days. So again, it's a hot seller's market. Again, less than 60-day market time is where this data is coming from here. So again, we don't say this to scare the buyers or anything like that, but that's just the reality of some of the things we are seeing, and folks that are looking to jump into the housing market are seeing right now. That's just the reality. So I'll give you some more information here, but interesting for sellers to note, or potential sellers to note, that market time, the past long average was 21 days, still in a different market. That's still a pretty quick turnaround time in terms of selling a home, but that should tell you where things are at, especially now, as I mentioned, that the average is at 8 days. So let's keep going with some great information from Reports on Housing. They always keep us in the know. So here is, it says unhealthy pace. The housing market will remain hot. And you can see here the expected market time has remained at unprecedented low levels and will not budge much for the remainder of the year. So a lot of folks are talking about waiting around and, hey, I'm going to wait for this market to change to get into my house that I want and all of that. I understand that maybe some of the prices can be daunting, and or the process can be daunting in a market like this, but this is not going to change really all that much in any time in the near future, as forecasted by economists, real estate economists, folks that do a ton of homework, like the folks over at Reports on Housing. So it's just, if you're looking for, there are deals to be had out there. There are, you can find the home of your dreams. You can get into the house that you want, especially if you work with the right people. But there is a reality that where things are headed in terms of prices and whatnot, it's going to largely stay the same, at least through 21. So that is definitely something to consider. The inventory, they kind of, their data kind of corroborates some of the MLS data that I told you about a little bit ago on the MLS, or from the MLS. The real thing to note here, in July, there were 4% fewer homes that came on the market compared to the 3-year average between 2017 and 2019, also known as more quote unquote normal market years. 2020 was skewed due to COVID-19, 152 less. So last year there were 4,320 homes on the market, 1,792 additional homes, or 71% more. So yeah, I mean, it's the competition is more stiff. There is no doubt about it, but there are still many, many great homes, particularly in Orange County, for buyers to take advantage of. Demand is starting to fall, and I think that kind of correlates to an earlier point I made with the folks maybe waiting out the market, and as they do that, they're just seeing things kind of remain the same and or get hotter. So the demand is starting to fall. The number of pending sales over the prior month decreased by 115, down 4%, and now totals 2694. there were 3325 pending sales, so 23% more than today due to a delayed spring market. But still, as I mentioned, with those MLS statistics, things are moving, things are closing, things are going into escrow. So the demand is starting to fall a little bit. Maybe that plays into your favor as a buyer going forward a little bit, but still, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of things pointing to a major swing in the market. And some folks, like I said, also look to potentially take it. Well, I don't want to say take advantage, but swoop in and do some things in a foreclosure market. And as I said earlier, that just does not seem to be where things are headed at this point. Closed sales dip year over year. There were 3,205 closed residential resales in July, 6% more than July 2020's 3,011. So you can see there's kind of these weird disparities. If you're kind of thinking things on a scale, there's kind of some different disparities in terms of closed sales dip, the demand starting to fall, but it seems to be still a hotter seller's market. So there's a lot of different imbalances, if you will, on certain things, but still a lot of opportunity out there for folks. Foreclosures, as I mentioned, foreclosures accounted for just 0.2% of all closed sales, and short sales accounted for another 0.2%. That means 99.6% of all sales were good old-fashioned sellers with equity. So there you go. Again, remains a hot seller's market. Here's the interesting thing is the luxury market. That's always something that we keep an eye on. We specialize in a lot of different areas in terms of we'll talk a little bit multi-unit in just a second, but multi-unit, we do a lot of stuff in the luxury market, particularly in South Orange County and throughout Orange County, but in South Orange County, we do a lot of stuff below the luxury market, the stuff that's $1 million or so and below, but we always like to keep an eye as to what's going on in the luxury market, particularly based out of South Orange County, where our brokerage is. The luxury end of all homes, which are, again, that threshold is $1.5 million, accounts for 31% of the inventory and only 16% of the demand. Expect the luxury market to continue to slightly cool with all of the distractions for summer. So we have noticed that some of the luxury market homes in the MLS have been sitting a little bit longer than maybe expected in a market like this, but that's kind of what's going on there. But a lot of different pieces of information and data points to give you there, courtesy of Kevin Buddy of Monarch Coast Financial, reports on housing, and a little bit of research done on our own here in terms of MLS numbers and whatnot. So hopefully you were able to digest all of that. I know there was a lot to get to there. One of the things we like to do on this show is highlight either a community entity, a business, a nonprofit, something like that. We also like to highlight some fun things going on in the community. So we've got a fun one for you if you're tuning in at the beginning of this week, which was the August 23rd, as we record today, the 24th. But if you're tuning in throughout this week, here's something for the weekend that you can kind of check out going on here. One of the cool things and places to go in South Orange County are the outlets in San Clemente. It's a cool outdoor mall. It's got a lot of different stores, some great deals to be had at some high quality retailers that are there. But the outlets also, because it is an outdoor venue, they do an awesome job of putting on these really cool, unique events that not a lot of other quote unquote malls end up doing or are able to pull off. And I credit the ownership of the outlets and just kind of the marketing team there and what they do. One of the things they've done over the past few years is something called Barks, Brews, and Boards. It's a day where they have a lot of different local breweries. They have companies that specialize in, dog treats, dog leashes, and dog supplies, food, all that kind of stuff. There's sometimes people that are out there just giving away different things. They have little things for your dogs to play with. There's other dogs there, obviously, but you see doggy activities, live entertainment. They usually have music there. They have food trucks at times, and of course, some other nonprofits and whatnot. San Clemente is a hub for some local great craft breweries there, so they will be there, as are many others throughout throughout the state and the county, etc. But really cool event on Saturday, August 28th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. You're welcome to bring your dog. It is free to attend. Not quite sure in terms of cost of certain dog supplies, beer, food, all that kind of stuff. That's usually something you buy there depending on what's available, and or you buy tickets, like little raffle ticket things that you go in, drink tickets, and it goes to that. You can also, one of the cool things they have there, at least personally speaking, one of the cool things they have there are certain shelters that are represented, and or nonprofits that help, certain organizations that are out there to help dogs, animals, maybe even, pairing veterans with dogs that need that pairing to go on. So there's a lot of cool things that this event does and highlights. So Saturday, August 20th, no, you don't need to reserve it or anything like that. You just show up with your dog and have a good time. So 4 to 7 p.m., live entertainment, food, drinks, cool things to do for your dog, cool organizations being represented, and of course, some awesome shopping. And the stores, in case you're wondering, are, I don't want to speak for every single one of them, but most of them are very, very accommodating to having dogs in their store, particularly on this day. They usually have treats, water, all that kind of stuff for your pup as they are cruising around. So check it out. Really cool thing at the San Clemente outlets at San Clemente, I guess I should say. But really, really neat event, and bring your dog, especially if you're a big dog person. Really cool thing. We're going to get out of here in just a minute. Want to highlight, this could have gone into the market update, I suppose, but we saved it for last to tie into a video. One of our own agents, Jill, has, I mentioned that our brokerage also does multi-unit listings. So you can see here, 696 Camino de los Mares in San Clemente. It is a multi-unit. It is currently under contract. So while we do the luxury end on the residential side, we do, what's some of the sub $1.5 million homes outside of the luxury market. We do investment properties, all that kind of stuff. And that ties into this right here. So Jill represented the seller on this transaction. It is getting finalized for a close at this point in time, but it was offered at $1,499,900. Again, 696 Camino de los Mares, and it's a really cool property. And so they were able to negotiate a great deal there. And so yeah, we do multi-unit stuff. I know not every brokerage specializes in that or does those kind of deals, but one of our agents was able to get that going, and we are very happy to announce that this is getting pretty close to closing here. So again, 696 Camino de los Mares in San Clemente is one of our brokerage's most recent transactions, a multi-unit property in San Clemente. So if you have a multi-unit property, if you have an investment property, any of those, and you need help either finding out some information on it in terms of selling, maybe some renter information, particularly in the state of California, we would love to be a resource for you in terms of getting you information, making sure you are well educated for your next steps, whether it's in an investment property, your own house that you're looking to sell, whatever the case may be. We want to help you out. I mentioned that we've done some things in the multi-unit and rental property sphere. So we have a little bit of an informative video to finish up with for you here. We hope that you have found this video informative, the data informative. Our thanks to Kevin Buddy over at Monarch Coast Financial, the president over there. Give him a call, give him an email, and get some information on refinances, purchases, all of that. or we're happy to conduct an introduction there. And our thanks also to Reports on Housing for their great data. Take care, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Enjoy this video here.